Welcome everybody to the Churnkey Intelligence event. This isn't exactly a webinar. What we'll be doing is we'll be kind of showcasing where Churnkey is heading here in the very near future. We'll be showcasing some of the new products that are coming your way that will be built into the Churnkey platform. I'm Daniel Hall. I'm kind of head up customer success here. I talked with a lot of you before who are currently on this call. Thank y'all for jumping on. And I'm the one that bothers you with emails and all that kind of stuff. We also have on the call the other faces of Churnkey. We have Lucas, who's over here. He's our head of customer support, and you've probably communicated with him at some point in the chat. We've got Scott, who's our head of products, who will be walking you through most of the presentation today, along with Baird, who's our head of the customer team here, and then finally Nick Fogel, who's our CEO, who will be kicking us off. So we're 2 minutes in. We might have more people join, but this will be recorded. We'll share this recording after the call. But I will toss it over to Nick to get us started with a little bit of background. Go ahead, Nick.
Awesome. Thanks for kicking it off. And thank you, everybody, for being here. We've got a lot of exciting announcements today. We've been wanting to do a roadmap preview for a while, and we have a number of different products that we want to share. The common theme is around intelligence. And we have been operating intelligently for a while, but we lack the tools to go really deep in terms of being able to predict things and automate things in a way that is safe, because your data is very important to us, and the fact that we are stewards of the billing relationship, and we take that very seriously. And our data sets and the tools have now matured to a point where we have some really exciting things that are going to make a huge impact on your businesses and your customers. I thought it'd be helpful, though, to give everybody here a little bit of context about why are we building Churnkey? Like, where is the desire to work on churn? Churn is an interesting topic. A lot of people avoid it. It's easy to put your head in the sand. And about 6 years ago, I was sitting at my kitchen table. Baird and I were running another business called Wave back then. And we had fought for years to build this thing to any decent amount of revenue. And we'd gotten there. And I remember sitting at my kitchen table, looking at a chart showing 15% monthly churn. And we knew we couldn't outgrow that. We had to replace the entire customer base every 6 months. So we started doing all the right things. We hired expensive consultants. We tried different products. Then we met with some customers. We interviewed them. And we looked at our support tickets. So we were like, oh, it's a product issue, or it's this other issue. So we spent about a year building product. And over 12 months, nothing moved that number. It was pegged at 15%. And then we made one change, and it seems simplistic, but we started asking every customer when they canceled why they were leaving. And it turned out that 85% of those customers, they didn't actually want to leave. They just had priorities that had shifted or budgets that had shifted. They were looking for flexibility. So we decided, what if we gave them that flexibility and our subscriptions adapted to what the customers wanted? And when we did that, almost overnight, our churn rate decreased by about 40%. And after that, the trajectory of Wave, that company, it exploded. And our customers were happy because they could use the product longer. And we knew in that moment that we were onto something. The big revelation from that was that churn is painful, but it's really about the customer and understanding what's the value they get from your product. And not everybody who clicks that cancel button wants to leave. Not everybody who has a failing payment wants that payment to fail. The customer's minds weren't made up. So as time went on, we really zeroed in on what are the basic principles here. And it comes down to behavioral economics. And we understood, okay, you can remove friction with pauses. You can create positive switching costs. You can probe for price elasticity, give people a better long-term value. You can optimize retry timing so you don't bother your customers as much when you're trying to recover a failed payment. So, life extension. It's kind of a hot topic in Bay Area circles. You've probably seen Brian Johnson and influencers out there peddling life extension supplements. We think about life extension differently. So, and we're in the business of doubling LTV. That's our mission as a company. We want to help businesses double the lifetime value they get from customers by facilitating happier, healthier, longer relationships between a business and their customers. So, life extension. Really, it's about increasing the lifetime value of that relationship and the commerce that you're doing together. So, how does that tie into this vision for intelligence? Well, it's along this thread that we believe subscriptions should adapt to people. And with our new line of products that you'll be hearing more about today, they'll help you to better catch customer signals earlier. They're going to help you to power smarter choices, be that during recovery for a failed payment or for somebody who has what we call churn intent. So they're going to voluntarily churn potentially. And a lot of these intelligence features are going to present you with better clarity for making decisions around your retention strategy. The idea long term is looking at AI and machine learning and our giant benchmark data set to help you set the goals that you want with guardrails. And then our systems can help to automate any repetitive work. And then the whole system is constantly learning so that outcomes improve every month. So next month will always be better than the last. Well, how does that work in practice? Well, um, Churnkey is going to listen for the moments that matter. And there are a lot of moments that matter in terms of how a customer interacts with your product. It could be when somebody cancels. That's a pretty easy one. It could be when a payment fails. There's also the way they interact with your product. What kind of usage data is there? Other things like what language do they speak? Where are they located? What is their pricing history? All of that is really valuable. And we can use that data to improve the experience and help to adapt to that customer so that you have a longer, healthier customer lifetime. So if you think about every offer, every retry attempt, every pause option that's rooted in this basic behavioral economic theory, it's optimized against this very large data set. And as you can see on the slide here, we have 3.6 billion data points that are related to this, what we call economic data. So it's the behavior that people have around retention and that decision to cancel. It's a large data set, and there's a lot that we've been able to glean from that. So it's all about the right intervention for the right situation, the right offer at the right time, the right retry for the right customer at the right time. And then each outcome will feed back to make the next decision better. So, last thing too that's really cool is we just passed 500 million, so $500 million in lifetime value added with the help of our customers and working together and constantly incorporating your feedback into the product. So we hope that we'll have some more conversations after today. We believe that Churnkey truly is a win-win, where we're essentially helping businesses and customers find a better long-term equilibrium for doing business together. There are no gimmicks. We're not just throwing discounts at somebody. We're finding a better, healthier long-term relationship. So we're excited to share more of that. Scott, I'll let you jump into the fun stuff.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick. I'm Scott Herf, one of Churnkey's co-founders and chief product officer. I've got the privilege of showing off 5 new products we've developed, all based on customer feedback, your feedback, informed by our benchmark data set, and really driven by conversations I've had with you over the past year. In nearly every conversation I've had with you, there's been one common question. What else can Churnkey do for us? You have so much data to work with. Please start pulling more revenue levers on our behalf. And this thinking is really stuck with me. Because just like Nick said, this is one of the first times we've really believed that we could fulfill the promise of you control the rules, automation does the repetitive work, and the whole system learns from outcomes. So, ideally, next month is always better than the last month. And now we have the benefit of really rich data, stronger tools in AI agents, and the privilege of your trust, which is essential. So here's the first step into the new vision we have of Churnkey. It's what we're calling the Intelligence Suite. And our focus is to combine our data and AI to get practical, painful things done on your behalf. I'm going to start by showcasing what we call adaptive offers. Traditional cancel flows are really effective. They Um, can be segmented to address different parts of your customer base. But if you want to start experimenting with discounts, that can quickly become really painful to set up and manage over time. Um, in the end, you may be leaving money on the table by over discounting customers that would have stayed for less, or you're under discounting and losing customers who maybe need more incentive. Um, Adaptive offers changes that. So it dynamically tailors discounts to each individual customer. We're optimizing here for projected lifetime profit, not just save rate. So instead of guessing what discount might work, adaptive offers is continuously learning from each customer interaction across all of your customer segments, utilizing custom attributes. And what it does is it tests discount combinations in 5% increments across 1 to 12 month durations. We factor in tenure, engagement patterns, pricing sensitivity, churn risk, seasonal trends, all kinds of fun stuff. And this adapts in real time to show each customer the ideal offer. So um, we have a few stages here: evaluation, alignment, selection, and then making an offer. Adaptive offers is all this within a moment. And once we evaluate um, your preferences, the preferences of your customer, what we predict they'll react to, um, we calculate that, make the offer, and then track customer behavior and LTV over time. That way, we're learning on um, what customer profiles react to different offers, and the results are pretty amazing. We're seeing 34% higher save rates versus static offers. We're seeing an 18% increase in post-discount LTV, um, and the feedback has been great. So we build segment-specific models, including custom attribute segments, to understand um, who needs a discount, who doesn't, the minimum discount needed to retain each profile. Um, so ultimately, adaptive offers make sure that you're making the smartest financial decision for every at-risk customer. So that's adaptive offers. Next up, account agent. Continuing with this spirit of getting Churnkey to do more for you, we want Churnkey to be more proactive, more aware, and to take the insights it has and tell you when it thinks there's a chance for improvement, optimization, or to take advantage of some new product. Um, but you're busy. You're shipping. You're managing growth. You're juggling support. You don't really have time to look out for all these hidden retention opportunities. So we see all this all the time. Daniel Hall does a lot of work helping to optimize your accounts. And we thought, well, what if we could turn Daniel Hall into an account agent? And not to minimize Daniel Hall. Daniel Hall's amazing. But we can't clone him, even though we tried. Um, and this means looking for opportunities like, hey, you've got outdated cancel flow segments. Um, you're 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 missing key things in payment recovery. You've got A/B tests that won months ago, but you haven't implemented the winner. Or you've got a huge segment of say Spanish-speaking customers stuck in an English-only UI, and that will ultimately cost you saves. So here's how it works. We're analyzing your retention data around the clock. Account agent identifies specific opportunities you're missing. So it's not generic advice. It's not toggle this huge feature. It's go create this segment for this set your customer base. Um, Account agent will then give you weekly recommendations. We rank them by revenue impact. Um, we provide implementation details. So, how confident are we that this will have an effect? How many customers will be affected? But the potential revenue effect. And then it just says, hey, here's a one-click implementation path to push that recommendation live. There's no configuration needed. The moment you have this turned on, it starts working for you and automatically surfaces opportunities. So it'll be constantly finding these opportunities based on patterns across the entire Churnkey network. That's account agent. Next up, automatic translations. And this is 3 of 5 for those keeping count. Um, Translations are a pain from any source language. And the truth is that it's a huge unlock if you want to improve LTV. Nobody wants to experience flows in another language. But previously, providing translations meant potentially days of engineering work, implementing strings, ongoing translation management. Then you've got fragmented analytics, and version control headaches. With automatic translations, literally all you do is you toggle it on, choose your languages, and done. Your cancel flows, failed payment wall, pause wall, and soon payment recovery campaigns will be translated automatically. And we're seeing the effect of this in the data already. For cancel flows alone, we're seeing save rates improve by up to 46% if they're translated. So yeah, it's a simple thing, but automatic translations is the perfect example of doing the unglamorous legwork for you wherever we can. All right. Automatic compliance. Speaking of unglamorous, the U.S. Appeals Court in July um, blocked a pending federal rule that would have required specific click to cancel rules across the U.S. Um, and the irony is, that now that this has been blocked, cancellation compliance remains a confusing patchwork of requirements, not only among US states, but across the world. From India to the EU, and even within member states in the EU, there's just too much to keep up with when it comes to compliance. Um, so we take care of that for you too. We keep an eye on existing jurisdictional requirements, as well as pending laws like Colorado's cancellation law that went into effect on August 6th. New York has an amended law that goes into effect in November. So with just a few clicks, you can enable various degrees of compliance, and then Churnkey intelligently detects where the customer is in the world, when they choose to cancel, and then when they do so, we serve up the appropriate cancel flow just for them. All right, one more for you. Finally, feedback AI. So feedback AI has been a staple of Churnkey for a long time. People who use it love it, but we still think there's room for improvement for such a useful product because every time someone cancels and leaves a free form response, feedback AI automatically takes that feedback, ties it to MRR and LTV, and then makes browsing by that topic extremely easy. Um, we believe really strongly that tight feedback loops help your product improve. So, that in turn improves retention. So we've strengthened feedback AI's capabilities here with categorization, with MRR effect and LTV effect. So that's it for me. This is the first step of our new vision for what Churnkey can do. We're calling this the Intelligence Suite, 5 products to start. Um, Now I'm going to hand it over to Baird.
My name is Baird. I'm one of the co-founders here at Churnkey. I lead our customer and growth teams, and wanted to walk you all through the new pricing options that are available as the Intelligence Suite kind of comes online for the first time. I should mention that all of these features are available. So this is something that you can see within your account from a few different angles, and something that can be activated today. So wanted to walk you all through the pricing and the options. Feel free to drop any questions here. The first main point is that these new features within the Intelligence Suite are being packaged together in a new plan that is not required. So we're not moving people automatically to intelligence. It does require opt-in. And the best way to evaluate that is with our sales team. So you'll either be talking to Connor, William, or Daniel Hall to get more information on the pricing, demo, can walk you through any different parts of the product, answer any questions that you have. Happy to do that. Just drop either in the Q&A or the chat. Just let us know if you want us to follow up directly with you. Now, the in addition to the new intelligence plan, which includes all the features that Scott just went through, Churnkey, kind of as you've known and loved it up to today, is being considered what we call the core package. Um, so the core package includes cancel flows, failed payment recovery, A/B testing. Think of all the things in Churnkey that you generally set up yourself or with Daniel Hall or customer success, of course, our support team. But the core package is really around the configurable aspects of Churnkey. And the intelligence plan is the new features that there's still configuration involved, but really meant to leverage our data and AI to make optimizations and adjustments for you automatically. one part about the pricing of both of these plans are still based on churn revenue. So if you go to our homepage right now, go to the pricing page, you'll see a slider, and you'll be able to see how pricing changes based on how much churn revenue you have. The general concept is the more churn that you have, the more Churnkey can go save and generate for you. So that's why the pricing scales on that. If you decide to evaluate this and look at pricing, you'll notice that, I mean, the price points are different, with intelligence obviously being a little bit more expensive, but not that much from a percentage standpoint. But the biggest difference for you to know is that the intelligence plan requires a quarterly or annual commitment, where the core plan does not. So that's the big difference. And the kind of basic justification there is that all of these tools require data and adjustments in time to improve. So we ask at least for a quarterly commitment there on the intelligence plan. So I'll leave it at that, but feel free to put in any questions that you have, and we'll answer those. Or if you want us to follow up directly, I'm happy to do that and schedule a demo. So with that, let's move on to, we've got a few items here that are in early stage development. So kind of taking you even farther down the roadmap and how we're thinking about future innovations here at Churnkey. And the first one that I wanted to highlight very quickly, again, this is very, very early stages, but we love partnering with our customers early on in the development life cycle of any new products we're working on. So the thought was to show these very quickly. And if anybody's interested in having conversations about them, we would love to kind of open the hood, so to speak, and let you see what we're doing and work together. And the first is our Adaptive Offers API. So from time to time, we'll speak to organizations who, for one reason or another, aren't able to inject the third-party embed, or we're the third party in that case, I guess, or the Churnkey embed into their web app to surface up cancel flows. Could be security guidelines, could be design guidelines. There's a lot of different reasons we see that. And the request from those companies has been, well, we still want access to your data to help understand what we should be offering customers at different stages of the life cycle. So what we're doing is building an API around our adaptive offers feature set that allows you to send packages to the API endpoints with customer data, subscription data, how long someone's been subscribed, similar to how you know the flows are, how your segments are built in Churnkey, and to send those in a package to the API endpoint, and then our adaptive offers engine will kick in and deliver the actual offer that it thinks that should be presented to the customer. And then based on the result, we'll go back in the adaptive offers engine, and it will learn from that, adapt, and continue on and test different outcomes as it goes. So it's a way to access our data set, which is really what we've been focusing on here from a product standpoint, without actually using the Churnkey cancellation flows. So we also see other ways that this could extend to different points of the customer lifecycle, maybe when they're in the app or have a failed payment, but we're starting with the cancellation flow step here. But you can imagine how this API could be extended out to different lifecycle stages. So let us know if you have any interest in reviewing that. But let's move on to the next one real quick. This one's exciting and probably the most fun to demo and use is our retention agent, which is the first take on an LLM based cancel flow experience. So we think the current cancel flows are fantastic and work exceptionally well. But one of our ethoses here is we're always trying to reinvent ourselves, because if we don't, somebody else will. So the thought is we're all using these chat-based AI LLM products like ChatGPT, Gemini, whichever one's your favorite. And we're all getting very used to that experience of chatting with an AI. And the internal question was, well, what if we had a cancellation experience that felt more like chatting with an AI? And the big possibilities that come out of that is the ability to not be stuck to a rigid logic of when offers should be presented to specific customers, but rather set guidelines and thresholds of what we're willing to offer different types of customers, and let the large language model chat-based experience present those in a much more conversational format. So this is very early stage, and by no means do we advocate at this point that everybody needs to move to a chat-based AI cancellation flow. So what we are looking to do though is deploy this cancellation agent or retention agent within specific flows in Churnkey. So a simple example would be, well, maybe I don't want to send all of my canceling customers to this chat experience, but maybe just my trialing customers where I'm willing to let the AI make a few more judgment calls to try and save those trialing customers before they cancel. So again, very early on alpha development, but we do have a demo. And if this is, something that you're really interested in, another thing we'd really like to look for partners, customer partners as we're going through the early stages of product development. And then I think we got one more precision retries 2.0. So we have, most of you all know, and in case you don't know, Stripe and other billing providers that we integrate with do offer retry capability. We, again, always trying to innovate beyond the status quo and figure out where we can find more opportunities to recover failed payments. And one of the big initiatives that we've had about halfway through this quarter and through the end of the year is running more experiments on how we can improve our precision retries, which are meant to run in conjunction with Stripe's smart retries, for those of you that are on Stripe billing, of course. And we are starting to learn that there are different ways to configure and optimize the retry schedules for different outcomes. So whether you're really trying to, save a specific type of customer or optimize for different time zones, paydays, we're finding a lot of things that are changing and kind of adjusting the retry rates and different ways to configure the model. But maybe the best way to explain this is one model doesn't necessarily fit every company out there. And we're really doing a lot of research to figure out what those different models should be and allow you to have a little bit more say into how the retry schedules work rather than it just kind of being behind a curtain. So we're in the early stages of this. I would expect probably early next year, late Q1, start seeing reports from us on what's working and what the options are here, and we'll present all of our findings soon.
One thing to add here too is that every company is essentially getting their own unique model that's constantly improving rather than like a generic model that everybody shares. And that's part of the reason why we want to do a longer time commitment, because training a bespoke model for each organization, you want to have some time for that to play out. And we see that there are unique things that we can do when we have a unique model for your business and your customers compared to larger models that are just kind of one size fits all. So this would apply to Precision Retries 2.0. It already applies to adaptive offers if you opt in for that. And a number of the other things that we're working on. It's going to be your unique model for your customers that's constantly trained against our benchmark data.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for sharing just a little bit of vision about where Churnkey is heading and just these really big features and projects that are coming out here in the near future. I know a lot of people are currently utilizing adaptive offers. Joven might be on this call. I think their team utilized adaptive offers or has been for the past month or two. What's interesting to see is that for adaptive offers, it's optimized currently for save rate, but that'll be expanding in the near future to hopefully accommodate for what you would like to see as far as profitability, LTV, and that kind of thing. But wanted just to kind of like touch base with everybody, see if anybody has any specific questions. If you do, drop them in Q&A. I did get Evan did Evan, thank you for great questions in the Q&A. We did answer 2 questions for Evan while we were going. So as you're dropping questions into the Q&A section, just wanted to touch base on these questions really quickly. Lucas provided an answer here. You should be able to see that answer on both of the questions. How many churn sessions does adaptive offers need before it becomes statistically clear that it's effective? And Lucas works on kind of the technical side of Churnkey. We're looking at around 20 sessions. You'll be able to see that initial optimization happening, where you'll see more offers being presented to customers based on the previous 20 sessions and how those oh my goodness, what's the word for those variations were accepted. We did get another question from Evan around with automatic translations. Do we see improvements even for products that aren't translated? So just to kind of give you just to kind of explain this question a little bit more, if your platform or your offering does not translate across different languages, if it is only available for your customers in English, then it might be worth it to keep consistency and just utilize the same English turnkey cancel post you have been utilizing in the past. So that's one thing that we just want to make clear here. But if you are optimized to handle multiple languages, we would highly recommend you adapting the translation offers or the translation, the automatic translations. So, well, thank y'all so much for joining us today. We really appreciate working with you. Y'all make Churnkey go, and y'all are just the best. So, thanks again for jumping on. And if you do have any specific questions, you want to see this in action, you want to potentially try things out, you can ping me. You can ping Lucas at Intercom. You could at our Intercom chat bot. You could also reach out to Connor or Baird if you have those emails as well. But look forward to seeing some retention out there, y'all. Have a good one.
Thanks all.